fantasy football league 32 years ago, and it was run by this guy who was a friend of one of my friends. He became my buddy. Not a great friend, but he's been a friend for 30 years. He was diagnosed with colon cancer 4 years ago, and he fucking died today.
Oh.
Today, on my wife's birthday. Can you fucking believe that? He wasn't well. He was in and out of the hospital, but, the prognosis was he had another year or two. So he just fucking died in his sleep today. Unfucking believable. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. 51 years old. So 51.
He probably hadn't even had a colon exam yet.
Yeah, he was diagnosed when he was 47. And I'm not sure if he was screening regularly before then or not.
Right.
I mean, at this point, go for the trifecta. Just load up the fucking bases, dude. Let's go.
Let's say at this point, come on, just
holy cow.
Hit Malishka. Let's. Oh, God, and there it is, Malishka Kralik.
It's over.
And it is over. The Cubs are your Season 2 Robo Classic champions. with a
Unbelievable.
3-run walk-off. That
You
was
hit-
beautiful.
You hit 2 batters and then you let a home run go. Oh my God.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for the Birds. But that was beautiful hit. Right down the middle, and Malishka just got a hold of that one, sent that one out, and was ready to end this. Wow. The Cubs walk.
Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
What's up, party people of the MOB, the mob, members only baseball? What's going on? What's happening? What's cracking? Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. They are your season 2 Robo Classic champions. Welcome to Mondays in the Mob, episode 15, season 2, the last one. Do you guys hear an echo? Or am I good? I don't know why you could hear us earlier, so I'm experimenting. OBS did some. You do hear an echo? Oh, I don't hear an echo, Yogi. I'm listening to it on my phone. Does anybody else hear an echo?
Don't hear an echo, Dave.
Okay. Let me check the chat real quick. Let me check the chat, yo. It looked like we're on a level 2 hype train. What's up? I can't see what's behind the hype train. Who was here first? Does that look like Crazy Canuck? I think it is Crazy. I think it's Crazy Canuck and James Troll, Dave Axes, Greg Luda, Bullet, Yogi, Members Only Baseball. Mike All is in the house. Gunny's with us. Freddie's back. What's up, Freddie? Pain in My Ass. Corey. David Leathers, the man with the best first name in all of the mob universe. Dougie Day is in his house. Bob Funk is here. It's the most Wednesdayest Mondays in the Mob show ever, Bob Funk. Excuse me. Diggs is here. Hey, Twin Screw's here. Twin Screw.
What's happening?
What's happening? Let's see who might be hiding back here. James Troll, did I say him? Somebody named DeBeast Tina. That sounds almost like it might be a Tina McGinn, but I can't confirm nor deny that. Bullet's here as well, and a few others. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Episode 15 here of Season 2 Members Only Baseball, Mondays in the Mob. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Here's the first thing I want to talk about, though. I want to remind everybody, we got the NADA convention coming up, June 5th through the 7th. I think we've got everybody that decided that they were going to come, all scheduled, ready to go. Lisa and I have been working on a bunch of stuff. Oh, Crazy Canuck, I said for 2 hours. So the over-under is 10 p.m. Eastern. So does it end before or after 10 p.m. Eastern? That should be the what do you call it? What do you call that? Prediction? That should be the prediction. Bob drinks to Wednesdays. I'm pretty sure Bob drinks every day to the mob. But anyway, if for some reason you've been neglecting your life and your schedule and didn't realize you could go to the NADA convention, but now you're like, oh shit, this sounds legit, I want to go, you're going to need to DM me ASAP. We are making final preparations on everything. So if you want to go and you haven't signed up, let me know. Win channel points if you make the correct prediction. Let's see what it says. What does it say here? Yogi Bar with all the bits there. Predict. Let's see this. This says prediction. Actually, I'm going to do the prediction on my phone. Hold on a second. Let's see here. I'm going to go under. I always go under. Will the show end before 10 p.m.? Yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to bet 1,500 points. All right, there you go, folks. Somebody else voted no already. What the fuck? No faith in me ever when it comes to these things. Unbelievable. All right, anyway, so that's the convention. I might start plugging it pretty soon. I've got some, you've collected all of the level 1 emotes. Show me. Okay. Sweet. All right. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them because I can't see them. It says exactly what you wanted it to say. All right, perfect. All right, we've got some announcements to make. We were going to do some free agency announcements tonight, but I think some people misunderstood what they were supposed to do. So I'm going to put out another ping tomorrow. I'm going to talk about it here for a second right now, but I'm going to ping out tomorrow to remind everybody, if you were with the San Francisco Giants, if you were an AI replacement player, if you want to test the free agent market, and if your team has 7 players and they can't keep everybody and you are an AI replacement, you're going to have to be on there. But if you, I guess it's about everybody. That's probably everybody. You need to DM me. I started going through the list and I was like, this is not very many people. I think a lot of you just did not understand the process. So I will put out a detailed ping tomorrow and we will push this to next Monday, which works out perfect because the Sunday prior to that, the day prior, is the owners meeting on March 22nd. So we'll have the show on 22nd. If the show ends by 10, I can talk to you. Okay, Tina, sounds good. By the way, not to ruin the surprise or anything, but Tina Begin will be joining the mob, everybody. So we will have the owners meeting on Sunday, and then we will announce free agents on Monday. We're not going to have a show, but I will do it in the I will do it. Don't say no. That's a double negative, Tina. I will announce it in the server instead. If you're going to play the mob March Madness Bracket Challenge, it's due by noon tomorrow. If you don't get it in, it's all set. All you do is hit the link, make your picks, and that's it. You don't have to do anything. That's it. That's all you got to do. Make your picks. If you want to do the mob baseball bingo, apparently it's called Bing on my fucking thing. I forgot the O. B-I-N-G. 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 And Bing was his name. All right. So if you want to do it, let me know. We only have 13 signed up right now. So what I'm going to do is, since I've announced it like 3 times, apparently people don't want to play. It's literally for free swag. I don't know why you wouldn't want to play. If we get 15, then we will, I'll just cut it off at 15. So if we get 2 more people who want to play, we'll cut it off at, and Benji was his name-o, and we'll cut it at 15 and everybody will get 2 teams. So that'll be twice the chances you have. I sent Axis. Okay, Gunny. So I think you're number 14 then, Gunny. So one more person. If one more person wants to play, and then we'll cut it off. And then the last thing is I will put I'll put all the stuff in probably by Friday. I think I'll do it probably by Friday. All the earning stuff in there, so you can start tracking your points to total up your off-season points to go towards your player progression to start season 3. All right, here's the thing. It's some of you heard Bullet and I were talking before the show, but you heard some of it about a bunch of crap that's going on in Bullet's life. And I had a tiny little. Now listen, what all the bad shit that's going on in Bullet's life, my shit pales in comparison. I feel the need to vent. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to vent. I'm going to drop about 40 or 50 F-bombs in this story. That's just, you guys have heard my stories. You know how that goes. But before I do that, Bullet, is there anything that you would like to share? I don't want to put you on the spot, and I don't necessarily want to force you to share anything. But after the conversation, people hearing a little bit of it, I feel like I should at least give you the microphone if you want it.
Very kind of you, Dave. Thanks. You know what? I'm not gonna. A lot of crazy stuff's going on with me the last couple of weeks. A lot of it negative. But rather than focusing on that, I would just like to say, for the many folks who have been asking over the last few weeks about my mother is actually out of the hospital and doing much better.
Awesome.
We got her 2 new nurses' aides, and she's living comfortably in her house, which is what she wants. And that's a good thing. So that's like a positive. That started as a negative, but is a positive now. As far as all the other stuff, I mean, I could just briefly mention, for those of you who don't know, I lost my job of 15 years a couple of weeks, about a month ago now, maybe a month and a half. I have a non-compete of 3 months, so I really can't do dick for the time being until that runs out. I've been passively looking for jobs, but not really like hitting the pavement for it, just basically enjoying my severance package until, the closer to the 3 months is up, and then I could really look hard for a new job. And what else? I got so many things. I have a roster of like stupid shit. Um,
Your buddy.
oh yeah. So a good buddy of mine, somebody I've known for 30 years, he actually was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer a couple of years ago, and he actually died today. And today is, of all days, is my wife's birthday. So that's pretty fucking lousy.
Dude, unbelievable, man.
It's, I mean, I'm not laughing, but like,
No,
it's,
I mean, what
it's
else
just
can you do at this point?
yeah, when it rains, it pours, man.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, I should write a book. I swear to
You
God.
should write a book.
And to top it all off, the house I'm currently living in, I'm actually renting this house. I've been renting it for a few years, and the husband wife that owns this house has been going through a very very bitter fucking divorce the last year, and they have. Long story short, it is unclear who I should be paying rent to, and
fuck.
it's and there's so much litigation and fucking lawyer shit going on that I actually had to fucking consult a lawyer. So that's the other thing. So rent dispute, dead friend, no job, mom's home.
Mom's
okay.
home and your wife's birthday.
And it's my wife's birthday. Yeah.
Damn, I don't. If 3's a trifecta, I don't know what the fuck 5 is, but that's what you get. You get
Yeah.
the fivefecta.
I mean, so it's like, I'm a pretty positive person by nature, so I try to extract as much positive out of the negative as possible. So that's where I am mentally, and it really bugged me not being like intimately involved in the league like I was up until a few weeks ago. And I watched I jumped in and watched a lot of the games and bits and pieces of the championship and stuff, but I didn't dedicate as much time as I would have liked, and that sucks that all this other shit had me
Yeah.
pulled away from like those stuff that I like to do in my leisure time. But such is life. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
So that's it for me. Thanks for listening. That's
you
my
got
TED
it.
Talk.
Well, Bullet, first of all, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. We've missed you the last few weeks. Glad you're back tonight. With some bullet points, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Yep.
And so all of that. So this is what's going to make my story even better, because I got so pissed off over something so minuscule compared to what Bullet's going through. And you can tell Bullet's like taking things in stride. He's dealing with it. He's doing his thing. One little thing happens in my life and I fucking go ape shit and lose my shit. So that's the difference between me and Bullet. So check this out. So all of you guys know I've been ordering wine from Europe, some clean wine from Europe, right? Over the last few months. We talked about it a lot the other day. Good to see Clams and Rob Forker come in. Oh, Rob, you missed the little intro thing I did for the Cubs. You missed it, buddy. So we've been doing it. Well, what happened was they got so popular they ran out of stock. And what happens is that the wine comes from Europe. It gets shipped to Texas, to San Antonio, and then from San Antonio it gets distributed, among the United States. Well, the wine not only got sold out because they got so popular, the fucking the war. Well, but even before the war thing started, there was a weather. I've been waiting on the fucking wine that was supposed to be delivered today for a fucking month. A fucking month. I've already emailed these fuckers 3 times, and finally I emailed them yesterday. I said, listen, if you don't have my shit if I don't see some kind of proof that my shit is on the way to my house, cancel all my subscriptions, my orders, fucking everything, refund all my fucking money, and go fuck yourself. And I got this weird email back in like 15 minutes like, oh, your order just happened to be shipped today. How convenient. Okay, all right, cool. That was a couple days ago, right? Well, yeah, so between them run out of wine, and then there was a whole bunch of weather issues, a couple weeks ago, and then, the whole thing with the fucking the war and who can fucking drive their boats where and shit. Now, these are the excuses they're giving me. I don't know how much of them are valid, but so all that to say, today finally, and this is funny, like my beef right now isn't even with the fucking wine place. I get an email and a text message this morning that says, good news, your wine is being delivered today by UPS. It will be delivered between 12:45 and 3:45 p.m. Someone 21 years or older must be present because it's alcohol. You got to sign for it. They have to sign for it and show ID. I'm like, sweet. My kid's got to go somewhere later in the day. I don't, with that whole thing that he doesn't have the car yet. He's going to have one soon, but the car went to the other person in that situation. But so I'm like, cool, that's perfect time at 3:45. I got to leave around 4:30. It's fucking perfect. So I'm checking the thing all day long. I'm going downstairs. I'm watching the cameras out in front of my house like every fucking few minutes. I took forever all day to fucking shower. Shut up, Mike. And dude, fucking 12:45, 1:45, 2:45, 3:45, and there's no fucking wine at my house yet. At 4:20, 35 minutes after the wine was the deadline for my wine, I get a fucking message from UPS that says my delivery has been rescheduled and will be to my house by 9 p.m. Oh, fucking no. So I fucking get on the fucking phone and I call UPS. And the poor girl, I kind of feel bad for the girl. I told Lisa the story afterwards. And she said, all Lisa said was, man, that poor girl. She answered the phone and she's like, hey, I can help you. I was like, well, this is how you can fucking help me. You made me waste 3 hours of my fucking day today waiting for this fucking delivery. And then 35 minutes after the deadline, you give me a new deadline that's 6 hours later. I am not fucking waiting 6 more fucking hours. Where the fuck is my wine? And she's like, oh, well, you can hear her clicking or whatever. She's like, well, it shows it's 3 stops away. I'm like, 3 stops away. She says, yes, sir. I said, are you lying to me? Are you fucking bullshitting me? And she goes, no. She goes, no, I could see it right here. She goes, each stop takes about 7 minutes. So you should have your wine. You should have your package in about 21 minutes. And I told her, I said, okay, what is your name? And I can't remember what she said. I said, I'm calling you back in 22 minutes if I don't have my shit. I shit you not. 21 minutes goes by. I literally have my fucking phone in my hand. And guess who pulls up to the fucking front of my house? Fucking UPS. And they have my fucking wine. So the happy ending to this story, and I know that people like Mike all in the chat love the term happy ending, is I got my wine just as my dinner was finishing cooking. Literally, like while we're taking it out of the oven, the UPS person pulls up. And so I got to drink my European wine after waiting for a fucking month and waiting all day today. And now I'm much happy. I'm much happier. I'm very happy. Yogi, what do you think about my wine story? Did I go over the top with the UPS lady? What do you think?
No. I hate the UPS.
Dude, fuck that bitch, right? Fuck that bitch.
Fuck that bitch. Fuck that. UPS. Who wears a brown uniform anyway?
Fucking turds. Fucking Cleveland.
Yep.
Fucking
there you
Cleveland,
go.
Right? Anyway.
No, you should let them have it.
Dave, I actually worked for UPS like my first year of college.
Oh.
I worked in one of their warehouses.
Yeah.
I like unloaded trucks and shit. Like I wasn't a delivery person. I was working like 20, 25 hours a week and that place was brutal. So yeah, fuck UPS.
Yeah, fuck UPS. James Troll, Lisa was taking dinner out of the oven. I was dialing my phone, calling UPS when the UPS truck pulled up. No shit. I shit you not. Lisa, I can get Lisa to fucking vouch for me. Like she was kind of thought I was losing my shit or whatever, but I don't know if it wasn't withdrawals, Diggs. It was me being pissed off for a month because I've been drinking other wine in the meantime. Dirty wine, I guess. But Keith, what do you think, bro? Fuck UPS or fuck, I had to wait for that shit for a month and then you make me sit around for 3 fucking hours. How am I supposed to act?
I mean, if you want my opinion, I'd just default to saying something along the lines of it's not that serious.
No, it's not, especially compared to Bullet's over here sharing 5 fucking tragic stories and I'm like, where the fuck is my wine?
I mean, it's wine. What you just want to, I mean, come on. You can wait another 3 hours.
Dude, I've already been waiting a fucking month and I already waited 3 fucking hours today to begin with.
I mean, listen, Dave, you can wait another 3 hours to start damaging your liver even more.
I can't, though. I think my liver was going through damage withdrawals, actually.
Dave, you know what? It's all about perspective. If that's the
Yep.
worst shit that's going on with you right now, fuck that.
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
nuts.
It kind of is.
Fuck that. Go nuts.
Right?
Your liver is experiencing Stockholm syndrome.
It
from
kind of
alcohol
is. It
withdrawal.
kind of actually is. I'm not buying
That's
wine.
hilarious.
Corn, I am not buying wine from the fucking gas station. I am fucking civilized,
Oh,
for
hell
God's
no.
sake. Wait, what did Crazy say? Fuck UPS and buy American. I can't buy American wine anymore, bro. It's all fucking dirty wine, man. I got to buy the clean wine. I don't know. I can only seem to get
See-
that from Europe.
See, the life hack there is just be like me and not like wine. Then you don't have to deal with it.
Hold on a second. Did you just say don't whine like WHINE? Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Bob Funk, don't rip on Boone's Farm, bro. I cut my teeth on Strawberry Hill back in the day, man. I'm just saying. Anyway, that was my fucking that's my story. But I had some great wine tonight with dinner, so it was a tragic story, and but it had a happy ending, and that's all that really matters. So we all did, says Bob Funk. No shit, bro. No shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, guess what we got? We got Bullet Points back. Bullet Boletsky in the house. Bullet. I asked you to do something a little different this week. Why don't you share that with the people and tell them what we're gonna do tonight?
Okay, so rather than do like a season end of bullet points for the last previous show, which I wasn't a part of, or the last few shows, we decided to basically compile the best of bullet points. So after painstaking review, I came up with what I believe are the 6 best bullet points of the season.
6 best bullet points of season 2.
Of season 2, plus the best of Ray's rants. I call it like 2 or 3 bullet points of Ray's rants.
Yeah, and Ray's rants. Awesome.
Yeah,
All right, so 6 bullet points in Ray's rants.
Right. So this might not land great with some of you because there's really no context to many of these things. So I mean, if explanation is required at the end of each bullet point, I'm sure Dave can add some context.
I will. Let me
myself
or yourself. Let me, before we get started, let me ask you a little side note. Do you think I should start a daily what do they call them? Not a blog. What's a video called? Is it called a vlog?
Vlog, yeah.
Should I start a daily vlog of me whining and bitching about something that happened to me like the day before?
Would watch, Dave. Why not?
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's saying about pouring Mad Dog 2020 next. Oh, I thought it said in my wine. I'm like, holy fuck, that's never going to happen. Oh, my God. I almost had to have another fucking fit right now, Bullet. Shit. All right.
Nah, shit.
All right. All right, we're going to have 6 bullet points. So the 6 best bullet points from season 2. Bullet point, I'm going to do my own drum roll since Ray's not here. So bullet point number 1.
Okay, bullet point number 1. This is from week 1, the first show of the season. Okay, here we go. Dave was having some work done on his house, and it's so decrepit that one of his contractors actually fell through the ceiling into his laundry room. And the first thing that Dave thought was, I hope he did not mess up my brand new dryer. Turns out the guy was an illegal immigrant and got fired and picked up by ICE a few days later. Oh, and he still has a half a shed in his driveway. Moral of the story, don't go near Dave's house. Stupid shit happens there.
Oh, my God. I have another story, Bullet. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Are you ready? I don't have a half a shed in my fucking driveway anymore.
Oh, what happened?
I forgot to share this. A few weeks ago, I found out that East Tennessee Pit Bull Rescue needed a shed. So I contacted them. I said, hey, how about a half a shed? And they're like, they're like, how much? I'm like, it's half off. I actually ended up donating it for free if they would pick it up. So they came and picked it up, and it happened to be the floor and the walls. So all they had to do was fucking like build a roof on it. That was it.
Nice.
So I forgot. I totally forgot to share that. What's Crazy saying? That's a decent point, Dave. Maybe you should start a bitch vlog. I mean, if I do it on YouTube, I might be able to make some money off of that. That might be.
You never know, man.
There's literally every day I bitch about something, or at least that's what Lisa says. But, all right. So that is a complete true story. The guy did fall through my roof. He was an illegal immigrant. He did get picked up by ICE. I understood. I've heard since then that he did get deported, by the way.
Okay.
And the only part that's not true in that story anymore, Bullet, is that I do not have a half a shed in my driveway any longer. So there you go.
Very good. Very good.
Moving on to bullet point number 2.
Okay, bullet point number 2. This one is from week 3 of the season. Okay, during story time with Dave, he talked about his deployment in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm. A few highlights were he was locked and loaded and almost shot a dog thinking it was an Iraqi soldier up until the very last second.
True story.
That would have been that would have been an interesting report to write if it went differently. He disobeyed orders and got in trouble for wearing an earring. Good thing they didn't find his dress and stilettos.
Hey, it's a new Army, Major. My understanding is you can no longer ask me these questions.
Fair enough. And number 3, he told a gunnery sergeant to go fuck himself, which got him on barracks restriction and docked pay. Why Dave didn't leave the Marines with a higher ranking remains a mystery to us all.
I mean, what are you going to do? All my buddies ended up E5s. I left an E4. It is what it is, man. But it is. Although I did have somebody today. We were having a conversation with my Marine buddies, and the topic came up, which is a little morbid, Bullet, actually. Like, what's the one song you think should be played at your funeral?
Right.
And everybody said that mine should be "I Did It My Way" by Frank Sinatra.
Jeez. That tracks though. That's not bad.
It did. It did kind of track. I mean, somebody else said like "Shake It" or "Push It" by Salt and Pepper or some shit. Like, I don't know. There were some weird ass fucking answers, but anyway. And just for the record, it was not Gunny McGuire. That was not the gunnery sergeant I told to go fuck himself.
Right.
That's important. All right, moving on to bullet point number 3 of the best bullet points of season 2 here in the mob.
Okay, this one is from week 4. In the chat, Clams announced that Ray likes her O-face.
I knew Clams.
Nate jumped in and said he's forced to like your O-face because his life gets threatened otherwise. Clam said, how do you know that? Everyone else also questioned it and said, how the hell did Nate know that? To keep this on a baseball theme, has Nate watched the happy couple hitting home runs? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but inquiring minds want to know. And I don't know that we ever resolved that. So
I don't know that we did either. I think Nate kind of disappeared on that conversation when we got down to the nitty gritty, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
So it's still out there.
Maybe we can resolve that. Maybe we can resolve that in June. We'll see. Clams in the chat says, "Leave my old face alone." All right. Bullet point number 4. Best bullet points of season 2.
Okay, this one is from week 5. Keith asked me why I would subject myself to having to listen to the broadcast over and over for bullet points, and I told him I've sold out for that half an earnings point that Dave gives me. In the chat, Crazy Canuck also admitted that he does something for Dave for that half point, but he took it to another level. He said, my knee pads are wearing thin. Those half points are hard to come by.
Hey, you like how he said they're hard to come by?
Yes, I do. It was
perfect.
A double entendre or something.
Or something like that, yes.
Right.
And just for the record, I have no comment.
Fair enough.
All right, so because your bullet points are so many and so long, Bullet.
Okay.
I got to do this.
Oh, you got to clear the deck.
I got to clear the mechanism here for a minute. All right, we got 2 more left. Bullet point number 5 of the best bullet points here of season 2 in the mob.
Okay, this one is also from week 5. Dave and Lisa got roped into trivia night at a local bar, and drunk Dave blew the whistle on a rival team that was using their phones to get answers.
True.
Dave made matters worse by stumbling over to the rival group and betting a box of Krispy Kreme donuts that they kicked their ass in the bonus round. Of course, Dave's team got obliterated, and he had to buy the donuts. But don't worry, folks. Dave personally glazed them, and in the end, the cheating team got what they deserved. The moral of the story is do not play trivia with drunk Dave or ever accept a box of donuts from him.
Or do both. I heard a double negative is a positive. That's what they taught me in school.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Dude, I forgot about that. Dude, I've had a kind of wild couple months.
Yeah, you got some great stories, man.
I forget about half of them. Shit. All right.
I'm telling you, a vlog would work, man.
I'm
You
tell-
like one of these silly things catches fire. You
like
got,
I don't even
all
have
of
to
a sudden you got
bitch
a
every
million
time.
likes.
I don't bitch every time. I can just tell about the donut and trivia story. Doesn't I mean
There
there's
you
no
go.
bitching there except for the they fucking cheated, but you know
Yeah.
besides that. All right, the last one bullet point number 6 of the top 6 bullet points of season 2.
This one is from week 7, and during that week, prior to me reading this one, I apologized to Keith, and I will apologize to him again in advance. So here we go. When discussing the upcoming games, Ray declared that the Brewers have not shot their load once this season, and Dave said the Yankees know how to start but not know how to finish. Based on previous comments from various mob members this season, I think it's safe to assume that Keith's mom would disagree on both counts. Sorry,
I actually
Keith.
forgot about this bullet point, but you know what I do? I remember you talking to Keith ahead of time. Keith, are you trying to talk? Because I see your green circle, but I don't hear your voice.
No.
Oh, okay. I know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
I
man.
thought he was trying to yell at you.
It just made me laugh. It was one of the few that actually made me laugh out loud when I reread them. So it had to be on here. So I appreciate your contribution to the cause. Sir.
Yes, thank you, Keith. Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, at the expense of my own family. Yes.
I mean, we
That's
might talk.
That's the lengths you got to go to here in the mob.
Apparently, you do. I mean, look at the bright side. We talk about your mom. At least we don't talk about your grandma. Oh wait.
And there was actually another bullet point that involved I think Gunny wanting to draft your mom or something that I was going to put in tandem with this one, but I said, you know what, that would be overkill, so I didn't.
You can't have two Keith moms in a top 6.
Yeah, I couldn't have two Keith mom bullet points in the same vicinity. That would have been wrong.
Can't do that. All right, so those are your top 6 bullet points for season 2. Here are your bonus bullet points regarding Ray's rants. These are all together, so I'm just going to pop them up on screen. You can read them.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I forgot
yeah,
the
these
drum
are
roll.
just
Hold on a second.
okay.
I'm
go
just
ahead.
going to fake it. You know what? Fuck, I don't even have it up, bro. Boom. There you go.
Thanks, man. All right, so these are some of my favorite highlights of Ray's rants during the season. I just picked 3 of them. So here we go. Starting with the first one in week 4. He asked Mrs. Met to give him a call so he can show her 2 balls until he swings his wood and has her feeling the grand slam. That was actually my personal favorite.
That's not a bad one. I like that.
That is so good.
Wait, who was it? Wasn't Mrs. Med having an affair with another mascot or something? We found out. Anybody remember that?
I don't recall that.
I feel like that came
recall.
up. All right.
I thought it was just her and Ray at one point.
Was it
That's
her
what I
and
thought.
Ray?
Yeah, I think her and Ray were carrying out this mythical love affair. So
Well, that makes sense.
yeah. Okay. The second one was during week 7. When talking about the Giants' performance, Ray said the Giants took a bat and swung it at their own nuts, and those were the only balls that they were able to hit.
I remember that one, actually.
That's another good one.
That was actually really... Dude, Ray's had his moments for sure.
Listen, I had to cut this down again, just like the bullet points.
Yeah.
Like there was like dozens that I could have easily added. So these are just like 3 that I like, but there's others that are just as good. All right, last but not least, from week 8, he called the Giants a fucking disgrace to the mob and said calling them the San Francisco Snookies is more of an insult to her than being called a whore on the Jersey Shore.
He did rip on the Giants a lot, man.
Oh, when I went through it, there was at least one Giants rant a week.
Yeah,
Minimum
he
of
called
one
like
a week.
what do you call him? Like fucking Oompa Loompas and Kevin Hart's and all kinds of shit, right?
There's a lot of them, yeah.
I actually wrote that down. I didn't send it to you, Dave, but I wrote down my favorite Giants insults somewhere. Where the fuck did I put that?
Oh, that's great. If you have them, do you have them handy?
I know the Danny DeVito
I do.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, and Dan DeVito too. You're right.
All the short references. The Danny DeVitos. He called the Giants at many points during the season.
What,
The Danny
the midgets?
DeVitos.
I know that was one.
Yeah.
The Oompa Loompas, the Gary Colemans, the Anti-Shacks, the Peter Dinklages, which was my favorite, the Peter Dinklages and the Kevin Harts.
Oh,
so
my
he called them
God.
all that during the season.
And you know
Fantastic.
what? And look at and now we don't have them in the league anymore. I guess it's all Ray's fault. Should we all
True.
blame Ray?
He
So-
actually drove them out of the friggin' league.
So who are we gonna make fun of now?
Oh, trust me, we'll find someone.
We'll
For
find
example,
someone.
Corey
The story
and
will write itself. I'm
Corey
sure.
says the Pittsburgh,
That's right.
the parrot, that's the mascot for the Pittsburgh Pirates, is going to violate Mrs. Men next season. So we can start there.
Jesus
See, that's
Christ.
great because the Pirates are actually a real rivalry of the Mets, so we can get this shit going right now.
Oh, there you
know?
go. There you go. Well, Bullet, I will tell you that it's we have missed you the last few weeks. The shows have not been the same without you. So I appreciate you getting back here just in time for the season end and doing a great job wrapping it up with the bullet points this season.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. And quite honestly, this was cathartic. So this was awesome. I'm glad I can jump back in and looking forward to the off season with you folks and season 3 too. So let's go.
Awesome. All right, bullet points with Bullet Boletsky, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to talk some baseball. How far are we in? We're 41 minutes in, and we're just starting to talk about baseball. How's that over-under feeling right now for everybody? I started with the playoff bracket because I wanted to go around and talk to everybody here. And just for the record, Soto had something come up, so he's not able to make it tonight, and Wink is in Florida. So the four of us that are on here right now is who you're going to get tonight. Yogi, let me start with you, bro. I know you have to have the most bittersweet attitude of anybody because the Brewers had arguably the best season of any team this season, but came up just short. So you got the bitter, you got the sweet, especially as an expansion team, though, man, what an incredible season for you guys. As you look over this bracket, what are some of your either thoughts or memories or surprises, things you thought would or wouldn't happen that did or didn't? Just, anything that you want to talk about, going back all the way to the wild card round through the Robo Classic as you look at the graphic and see all the teams that were involved in the playoffs this season.
Well, the two wild cards made it all the way to the final. Was one. They fought their way all the way. Number two was majority of our runs scored in the playoffs were via home runs. Go figure.
That's crazy.
And we lose.
That's crazy.
And we lose.
Yeah.
I mean, like every game, most of our runs, 4 out of 5, all 3, 4 of 4. I mean, home runs, home runs, home runs. And we didn't do that all season. So it was just nuts.
Yeah, so I got two main points here. The first one is that one of these seasons in the mob, it's gonna seem like one of these seasons, the regular season is gonna actually seem meaningful because in the first two, it hasn't, judging by who's ended up winning the whole thing. Yeah, so I mean, granted, that happens in every sport. I mean, the '06 Cardinals won the World Series and they went 83 and 79 in the regular season, so anything can happen. But I was actually piggybacking off of what Yogi said. That was a stat that I actually looked into before we got on the show tonight because I was curious how many home runs the Brewers and Cubs hit because they were hitting a lot. It seemed like that was basically the story of their playoffs. So I looked, and so combined, the Brewers and Cubs hit 45 home runs in 60 combined regular season games. And okay, so combined, the Brewers and Cubs hit 45 home runs in the regular season. So that's 45 home runs in 60 games. Yes. In the playoffs, they played a combined 30 games total. So that's splitting the games that they played against each other into two separate ones basically for each team.
Right.
And they hit 31 combined home runs in 30 playoff games.
Holy
total.
shit! Yeah, that's big. Let me do something. Let's do a
So-
mic check right before you finish because I want to make sure everybody
Mhm.
can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear Keith? Bullet and Yogi, chime in here real quick. So I want to make sure everybody can hear everybody.
Yo, it's happening.
Yogi,
Yo, 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 yo.
there's too many fucking buttons now. I can hear everyone. Everybody. Okay, yeah. I think I hit a wrong button. So when you guys couldn't hear Yogi, or you heard him but he sounded weird, I think you were getting a headphone echo from my headphones because my headphones had gotten turned on for some reason through Discord or through OBS. So it's fucking weird right now. I don't like the way they redid this mixer. Keith, continue.
Yeah, so I do just think it was funny. So the actual breakdown there is the Brewers hit 15 home runs in 16 playoff games, and the Cubs hit 16 home runs in 14 playoff games. And those were the two teams that hit the fewest home runs in the regular season.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Hey,
It just blew my mind.
before I go to Bullet, Yogi, you want to just summarize what you said real quick for the people who couldn't hear you about what you were talking about the wild cards?
Yeah, I said that, the two wild card teams made it all the way to the finals. So they went through the gauntlet to get there. And I'd mentioned about the home runs. It seemed like the majority of our runs we scored in the playoffs were off our home runs. It was just crazy.
Yeah, which I said was wild. That you total opposite of how you guys played all season long. It was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Bullet, same question to you. As you look at, several, we had a few weeks here playoffs, started with the wild card, divisional championships and the Robo Classic. As you look at the graphic now and think about all the things that happened, what stood out to you?
I think our playoffs kind of mimicked real life, other than the last few years where the Dodgers were clearly the best team in MLB and they won the World Series. That usually doesn't happen in baseball. Usually the hottest team in the playoffs wins it, not necessarily the best team. And
Right.
that, like, you can take that back years and years and years. Like, that's true more times than it's not true. And I thought that was going to happen again this year, being the Brewers being the best team. We did overtake them at the very end of the year, but I think most would agree that the Brewers were the best team in the league. And they just ran into a buzzsaw that was the Cubs. And that was a really entertaining series. And anyone could win on any given day. And the Brewers just didn't have it. The Cubs had some dramatic wins, and it was awesome. So,
Yogi, do you remember who you chose to go to the Robo Classic when we did that early pick'em thing? Brewer. I'm assuming it was Brewers. Who'd you have? Do you remember who you had the Brewers playing?
I wanted to say I had the Cubs, but it was either the Cubs or the Cardinals.
yeah, I had us and the Cardinals, Dave.
Yeah, Keith. What about you? Who'd you have in the finals?
I had the Athletics and I think it was the Orioles.
Yeah, I had the same. I had Athletics and Orioles. Yogi, let me go back to you then. Most disappointing team in the playoffs, other than you can't pick your own team if you feel like you were disappointing. Who do you think was the most disappointing team in the playoffs?
Little bitches.
You think it was the Mets?
Yeah, well, the problem with them was they put everything into catching us, and I just don't think they had anything left once the playoffs started for them. They had spent the better part of the second half of the season tracking us down, and they got it done, but at what cost?
Yeah, Dave. I think that was the premier matchup of the brackets, the Brewers Mets. Like, I thought, legitimately,
Yeah.
being unbiased as possible, I thought that the Brewers and the Mets were the best two teams the entire year.
Yeah.
And that was like going to be the World Series. Like, whoever won that series in my mind was going to win it all. That's what I thought.
Keith, do you agree with them? Is it all in the kind of the newbie division, or do you think, would you say maybe even your own team or the Orioles from the OG division?
I was going to say I disagree with Bullet for the primary point that he made, which is that the Mets and the Brewers were the two best teams. And so to me, I mean, that series could have gone either way it's not like the Mets were in the similar situation to us where we were in last place halfway through the season and had to fight our way all the way back. They were up there they were never last, if I recall, at any point during the regular season.
No, they weren't.
And for most
Nope.
of the regular season, I mean, they weren't even close to it. So they were already pretty good and had established themselves at a pretty good team. While the Cardinals we had to put in all that work in the second half of the season, and our bats finally woke up just for us to go full on week 3 against the Athletics again, where we couldn't do anything.
You know, Mike All in the chat. First of all, he says Orioles, and I am going to say something about that. But he says Mets took us to 5, Yogi. But didn't the A's also take you to 5?
They did.
So you had to go back to back 5-5 before you even got to the Robo Classic.
Yeah.
Just like Keith said, the Cardinals bats woke up at the right time. Our bats fell asleep the last few games of that series. Our bats were like, we had a really good hitting team for the most part all year, and they went silent the last few games.
More than any sport, Bullet, this baseball is a game of fucking runs, man.
100%. And Ducati shut us down those last few games. Did a great job.
Yeah,
they deserved
it.
That's
what I was getting ready to say. Was it the bats went quiet, or was it like us against Nate? The pitching just took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, I think Chris Lee didn't pitch badly either. Like, he pitched good.
Yeah.
Those were all close, low scoring games for the most part, right? Like, that was a very tooth and nail type.
The one
series.
exception to that was probably the last game where the Brewers piled on.
Yeah,
early.
they blew it open on that last one. We just ran out of gas on that one. Yeah. True.
All right, so let me go back to the wild card for a second. Bullet, I'll start with you, and I'll work my way down. The last in week 10, the Orioles swept the Cubs. The Cubs went 2-11 down the season. We've talked about this before. Going into this series, almost everybody picked the O's to win it. Once the Cubs beat the O's and beat them quite convincingly, I feel. Did you feel like that was the time that the Cubs were going to make a run, or did you think, oh, well, that was great. That's the Orioles. The Orioles are just back to sucking again, but they're not going to get past the Cardinals?
I thought more along the lines of that yes, they great job by them, like getting rid of the favored Orioles, but the Cardinals are the best team in that division, at least record wise. And I didn't think they would get past the Cardinals. I thought that was like a little mini run, but it was going to end in the divisional round, and they proved me wrong, dead wrong. So, kudos to them.
Keith, I'm actually going to skip you on this. I'm going to go to you last on this. Yogi, what about you? Once the Cubs took care of the Orioles, do you think, oh, here comes another run like the Yankees, or do you think the Cardinals were going to put a stop to that?
I was seeing from being on that Yankees team, like Bullet, I was seeing that the Cubs were getting hot at the right time, and it worked its way all the way through to the end.
Keith? What happened in the? Did you guys beat the Cubs in week 10 in the?
Yes. Yeah.
And I meant to say sorry, and I meant to say week 9 that we played the Cubs, not week 10. But you swept. So we swept them, then you swept them. So going into the wild card, they had lost their last 6 games.
Yep.
Wow. So what was your thinking? Like, when the Cubs and Orioles were playing, who did you want to play and why? And then once the Cubs won, what was your thought process?
That's a really good question. You know, I didn't 100% have a straight opinion one way or another of who I wanted to play, just because we had already proved ourselves against both the Cubs and the Orioles, because if memory serves me right, I think we swept the Orioles in week 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was early on.
It was right at the beginning of our turnaround, and then we swept the Cubs in week 10. Now, of course, the Cubs swept us in week 2 or 3 or whatever that was, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, you can discount that to early on,
Right, exactly. I mean, we had already shown that we were like a whole new team down the stretch. And so to me, I didn't necessarily have an opinion one way or another. I think I don't totally know if I had a team I wanted to play, but in hindsight, I would have expected myself to have wanted to play the Orioles, because I had thought all season, for the most part, that Nate Hall was one of the 3 best pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
Like, without question. And I had that opinion for a while. And so to me, I would have felt better going against a pitcher that I had more confidence against. So in hindsight, I would expect myself to have wanted to play the Orioles.
Interesting. All right. Last question for the panel before we move on to our next topic. Yogi, I'll start with you on this one. What happened to the A's, bro? I think everybody was high on the A's all season. Early season for sure. Then they went through a little roller coaster, but near the end of the season, everybody was on top of the A's again. I just feel like, I know they took you 5 games, and maybe that was enough. But when I look at this and I only see the A's in the wild card and they don't advance, granted, they had the hardest path, right? To go through you and the Mets would have been the hardest path to the championship. Do you feel like the A's underperformed, or do you think they just gave the Brewers everything they had and they just fell short?
I think they gave us everything they had. When you go into a series against the A's, all they need is Greg to be hot every other game, starting with game 1.
Yeah.
1, 3, and 5, and they win a 5-game series.
Right.
So it didn't happen that way, but it's life in the sim life. Each time you progress, you have a potential to get yourself in a dead zone in those numbers, and sometimes it just happens. You get a spot where you think you're increasing power or striking out or whatever. You're increasing it, and you're going to be in a good spot, but you put yourself in the dead zone, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But the next time you progress it, it puts you up to that next level where you see the benefits of it. And sometimes that happens in playoffs. I think the Cubs just got it just right. Everything worked out perfect for them in the playoffs, that last progression.
Yeah, fucking sim sport's gonna drive me crazy. Bullet.
Yeah, they will.
Bullet. When you guys are the Mets, did you want to play the Brewers or did you want to play the A's? I know I remember Wink saying in chat that he wanted the Brewers because he didn't want to go against Soto, which obviously that didn't work out for you guys.
We did want to go against the Brewers simply because we fared much better against them during the season. We were 5-1 against the Brewers during the season, and we were 3-3 against the A's, and that includes a sweep on our part and getting swept by them.
Wow. Okay.
So there was like some, wild inconsistencies when we played the A's, and we thought we had a better chance facing the Brewers simply based on previous games.
Right.
We definitely wanted the Brewers, and we got the Brewers, and they beat us at our own game. They hit much better than we did overall, and they deserved it.
Yeah, you took them 5 games, but
yeah,
we
did. It was a close series, but
it was except for one game. There was one game that was an anomaly, but yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you like that stay in Cabo?
Jesus Christ, yo!
Took over the fucking reservation of the Brewers.
Fucking Christ, yeah,
fucking great. Keith, Keith, you got to find a word on this one. The A's, did they just do what they could do? Did you think? You take the Brewers, who are favored to 5 games. Can you ask any more of that of your club if you're Soto?
Of course, the main issue with the A's in that series against the Brewers was offensively. They were just really, really struggling, despite being one of the more efficient teams at being able to score runs in the regular season. If you look at the numbers, that first playoff series that Soto had might have been one of his best pitching performances of the second half of the season, the entire second half, and honestly of the whole season. Because I had to go back and check what some of the numbers were, and I was actually surprised that Soto was 6th in ERA and 6th in WHIP and near the bottom in strikes per walk. But during the playoffs, he looked pretty solid, and so it was just, to me, the issue was the A's just couldn't get a hit, which. That was the story of that first week of the playoffs for either series anyway.
Yeah.
But that it also, that's just what the Brewers had done all season.
Well,
so, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one to crack for sure. I've been pretty high on the A's as far as their position player lineup all season. And so, yeah, it surprised me a little bit to see them not do so well. I mean, I picked the A's to win the series anyway, so that just goes to show what I thought of them.
Shows you none of us know shit, bro.
Right. Uh-huh.
Hey, so I was actually going to go on to the next segment, but I do want to ask one more quick question. If the I don't know if we can figure it out here real quick without boring everybody that's listening, but if the seedings were stacked as one big group, right? So Mets would have been 1, Cubs would have been 8, right?
Mhm.
Brewers 2, A's 7, et cetera, we would not have had a Brewers Cubs finals. Would it have been more likely we would have had either, Mets Cardinals or Brewers Cardinals? And how do you think that would have fared, Yogi? I'll start with you. I feel like if we had gone 1 through 8 instead of going by divisions, the matchups obviously would have been different, so we would have had a different outcome anyway. But I think we would have had 2 completely different teams, or at least maybe you guys would have actually maybe even won it. I don't know. What do you think?
Everything would have been different. Would the Cubs have gotten as hot? You don't know.
They would have
It
had to
took
beat
that
you in the
first
first
series to
round,
get 'em hot.
right? They would have had to beat you in
Yeah.
the first round.
Or the Mets.
It'd probably be the Mets.
Oh, actually, no.
Yeah, they'd
you know
have been
what?
playing
No.
the
I'm
Mets
sorry.
in the
There's
first round.
only 6 teams here, so it would have been we would have had to put the Yankees and the Giants in
all
to go
8,
1
yeah,
through 8. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that would have changed everything.
Oh shit! I can't even figure that one out of my head. I'm sorry.
we-
I'm
we-
sorry you even brought
yeah.
that shit up.
We'd be talking about another Yankees championship.
Could you imagine Yankees and
Oh,
Cubs in the
no.
fucking finals?
You could have
my
had
God.
you could have had the top 2 teams get a bye, and then do it that way with 6.
Yeah, we still could have done. I mean, well, we did. Are you talking about the way we
Right.
did it? Oh, you mean,
No,
but
if
yeah,
you-
but one
if
through
you-
but 1 through 6.
But
Gotcha.
just rating. Yeah, right. Ranking them 1 through 6 instead of 2 divisions.
I love how much fucking shit Rob Forker talks now that he won a championship. It's so great to see him talking shit in the
Oh,
chat.
jeez.
Yeah. All right. So real quick. So even if the Cardinals and Mets had it would have been Brewers versus Cubs in the first round. It would have been Orioles and it would have been A's and O's, right? Am I looking at it right? Mets
I
1.
think, I
Mets
think
and
so.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Or did the Mets and Brewers have better records than the Cardinals?
We
They
did.
They
Oh, yeah.
both
We
did.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Cardinals
we-
would have lost their 1 seed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd go Mets, Brewers, Cards, A's, Orioles, Cubs.
Oh,
In that
dude,
order.
we might have to replay this in the offseason just to see. Just to have some
Simulate
fun.
a simulation.
Just have fun. Well,
I would suggest for next season we do that. We have one
Well,
big division.
we
do.
have,
Possible.
we are, but we have to do that because we only have
Okay,
10
cool.
teams, so we can't have 5 team divisions because then rivalries would
Yes,
be
that makes
interdivision.
sense.
So next
Yep,
season
yep.
it will be, and I'll just tell everybody right now, it'll be 1 through 10. And then, as a matter of fact, look at this. Hold on. We're going to talk about some players. And somebody brought up Soto. I think it's a good segue. We're going to talk about that. But before you get to there, if you look, I already started my little spreadsheet over here. So we got A's, Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs, Guardians, Mets, Orioles, Pirates, Red Sox. That's your one division next season. The top 6 will make the playoffs again. We'll do the same thing. Top 2 teams will get a bye. 3, 4, 5, and 6 will play in a wild card. The bottom 4 are going to play the Suckway Series. It's going to be 4 teams that are going to suck enough to play in that next season. So that's how we're going to do it. So 1 and 2 get a bye. 3 through 6 play the wild card. 7 through 10 suck it. Go to the Suckway Series. So there you
Nice.
go. But somebody brought up Soto's ERA and things like that and how they were surprised. So I think this will be a good time to move over to the stats. I don't know. Are these all the way updated, Keith? Are we good to go on these through?
Yeah.
This is all just
Uh-huh.
regular season, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to talk about the playoffs yet. We can talk about that later. David Leathers is your regular season batting champion, batting .339. But followed by Jack Gaines at 311, Bullet at 306, Ray at 298, and so on. But look at that. Jack Gaines second, and then Jack Gaines first on OBP, but look who's second. Leathers. And then you got Gaines, Bullet. So this, to me, it looks like it's Leathers, Gaines, Bullet in every single fucking category so far.
Yeah.
That's your batting average, OBP, and slugging. Then you go over to on base plus slugging, still Jack Gaines, Bullet, and Leathers. Runs batted in, Jack Gaines, Leathers
Bullet,
is down.
yeah.
Where's Bullet?
Bullet and Leathers are
A little
there too,
further
yeah.
down. Jack
Mhm.
Gaines with the most walks. Wow. Hold on. I gotta find my little cursor. Then strikeouts, extra base hits. So I don't see it. Do you guys see any of those three on strikeouts? So that none of them made it to the top list on strikeouts, right?
No.
Nope.
No. Mm-mm.
Extra base hits, Bullet, Jack Gaines, and David Leathers. I've
1, 2, 3.
seen a trend here of who our three people probably for MVP are gonna be for the voting. Then you get to the home runs. It's Gaines and Bullet again with Freddie. Leathers not a home. How many Leathers didn't hit more than 6 home runs?
He had that many in the
I was gonna say he
postseason.
saved them all for the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, so what happens with this list is when there's like more than 10 essentially, like when there's enough people tied for what would make the list, there's some folks that get left off.
Okay.
And so Leathers had 6 in the regular season, but there was too many people that had 6 that you can't fit them all in the top 10.
Gotcha. And then the most important statistical category is stolen bases won by Dave Dirtbag.
I do think it's funny that Shinji and Whitey Herzog are both on there because both those guys only played like half the season.
Shinji got replaced by Jack Wigmore, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, so he wasn't even a player after whatever week we did that.
Mhm.
Week 8 or something.
Right.
Week 6, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Ray's up there. I will tell you that I'm surprised. Dude, you guys can talk all the shit you want there, Cubbies, but I just hope I get invited to fucking Hack Wilson's fucking retirement party this year because that fucker's not playing in the Bob next season. I will tell you this: I'm very surprised that Ray Bashan was not on this list. After I think he led, Keith, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the leader last season, right? He led this season? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Granted,
we weren't stealing a whole lot of bases last season.
No, we weren't.
Ray was leading.
Yeah. Hack didn't start until... Oh, don't give me that bullshit, Rob. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
No, I'm sure he was fucking starting. He was playing. He just didn't steal any bases. I want to tell you. As a matter of fact, if you were to go back, Keith, I don't think you can figure it out. I bet you I wasn't even on the list till halfway through the season either. I don't feel like I stole any bases at the beginning of the season. So I think it was all Ray and you, I think, wasn't it? The two of you early on?
No, I wasn't on there until
later.
I had a week where I stole, I think, 4 in 3 games, which that was the case. that was the case for a lot of folks that were on that list. I do want to point out that I want to say the Cardinals had 3 people finish in the top 10 in stolen bases.
Oh, let's go.
Which that surprises me because I would have thought the Brewers would have had.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
But last I checked, the Cardinals finished this regular season with the most stolen bases of any team, which surprised me. I mean, I'm not complaining, of course.
Yeah. Zach Holdorf in the chat is asking, does the guy with the most strikeouts get a crown? Asking for a friend. Let's talk about that for a second. Korn, Lou Gehrig, Freddie Flash are all, I think those 3 are all McBonzes. Clamsy's not a McBonza. Rocco was, Travis is, Benji is. I think Piazza is. Piazza might be an average.
He's either a McBonza or a catcher.
Oh, is he a catcher? Oh, he might be a catcher.
He's one of the
He's
two.
a catcher. He's a catcher.
And Blitz and Art. So basically, this list is 80% fucking McBonzes, right? If I'm looking at it right. Clamsy, how the fuck did you strike out so much? What the fuck?
She had a rough season. Like it was not great. I think she
played better in the playoffs though.
She did, yes. Yeah, there were a lot of folks that had a rough regular season but played better in the playoffs because Michaela was another example of that.
Yeah. That's okay, Rob Forker. I didn't even steal a base until week 4 because I gave Hack a head start. Pitching. Let's talk about pitching now. And Keith, you do not have to check that stat. Fuck, I can't get this. Hold on. There we go. All right. So Ducati, who was bitching all playoffs about his ERA going up, but again, this is only for regular season. So
It like hardly went up.
I
don't know
know,
what
I know, but he's like,
yapping
I
about.
gave up 1 run last week. My ERA sucks.
His ERA in the playoffs was like almost a full point higher.
Well, that part, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. Ducati, 1.55, and the next one almost a whole run difference, right? Chris Lee, Nate, and James Troll, and then you got Tommy Gunn and Lisa at the top. Whip, Gunny, I'm not surprised by that. Ducati right there with him.
Wow,
So-
the troll ERA is a little surprising. I didn't realize he pitched that well. That's pretty good
He
to finish in the
pitched-
top 4.
We think that considering he was the lowest rated pitcher,
Yeah,
that he pitched
Mhm.
really well this season.
very well.
Excuse all my
For
coughing.
sure.
What the
I
fuck's
would
going
agree for sure.
on?
I
do
told
think
you all
it's-
that early.
I know you did. I know you
You
did.
did say that, Yogi. You were saying that from the beginning. Yeah.
James Troll in the chat saying you better fucking recognize. Let's see. So here's some things that don't surprise me. Gunny with the lowest whip. Strikeouts, Soto for sure, right? It's gonna be up there, him and Nate. And Chris Lee. Oh, Chris Lee passed Nate. That's right. I forgot about that.
Chris
Gunny,
Lee had a sneaky awesome year, guys.
he did.
I'm telling you.
Gunny with the lowest walks, not surprising. Strikeouts per walks again, Gunny. Ducati with the most innings pitched. Let's talk about that for a second. So, Yogi, let's start with you since this is your pitcher. Stamina's a thing. The highest stamina in the league was Soto. I think Ducati was second or third in stamina. Is that just up to stamina, or I mean, obviously there's game situation, but is that the biggest factor in this that you just had his stamina up so high? You think?
I'm thinking so, but it started early in the season. He pitched a lot of those long innings earlier, long pitch counts.
I'm actually surprised, Keith, that Gunny pitched so much. I feel like, at least early on the first half of the season, I feel like Gunny probably had the least amount of innings pitched. Seemed like he was getting pulled out of games early all the time. Are you surprised to see him second on the list for innings pitched?
No, just because there were a number of games where Gunny was maybe kept in an inning to an inning past what you would normally expect him to get pulled. But also, I mean, he just never really gave up that many runs, or I guess enough to get pulled instantly.
Yeah.
For example,
And walk.
there really weren't that many games early on in the season.
An
where
ERA
there was a
around 3, that's
situation-
normal. Right? That's a normal ERA. It's 3.
And
Yeah, I
walks though. His pitch counts were consistently low because he never walked anybody. So he
Yeah,
always
well,
got like
yeah.
I
I mean,
that's a good point.
my opinion on why both Ducati and Gunny are up there so high was because both of those guys were drawing a lot of contact on their pitches all season. And we saw that especially with Ducati, I think, towards the back half of the season. Now, granted, did that mean that some teams were able to jump on him and put a few runs on the board early, like we saw with the Cubs in the Robo Classic? Yes, but that also means you're going to get some games where you get lucky and ball is hit right at like the shortstop a couple times or something like that, and those are outs instead of hits.
Least hits allowed, Ducati again. Not surprised by him and Soto and Lee. I'm a little surprised. Lisa actually in the middle of the pack, who did not have a good season. Total runs allowed, Ducati again, followed by Chris Lee. And look at James Troll right there too. And hits allowed, he's 4th. Total runs allowed, 3rd. Total earned runs allowed, he's also 3rd. James Troll had a very, very. I'm just going to say it here. If you guys want to debate me, we can debate it. But I'm going to say that without a doubt, that James Troll will win Rookie Pitcher of the Year award.
Yes, he would be
Yes,
my
for
vote.
Yep. Agree.
Just thought I'd throw that out there because he has no fucking competition. Nate Hall gave a 54. Here's where it gets into it. And this is where I think we talk about the roller coaster that wasn't just the A's, but was Soto, right? I think maybe we can all agree. And if you don't, we can debate it. The hottest pitcher in the league when he's on is Greg Soto. And the coldest pitcher when he's off is Greg Soto.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we see him falling in the middle of the pack on a lot of these. Agree or disagree?
I agree with
100%.
that. I think I always thought that Greg was the best pitcher in the league. I said that all season, but like somehow I missed all of those starts where he got lit up. Like he pitched like into the 7th and 8th inning in games and was dominant, or he was like, bounced around and like out in 2 or 3 innings. He had there was so many like disparate games where he was either awesome or he was really lousy. There wasn't like an in between, and that I think is reflected in his numbers. So yeah, he was very hot and cold all season.
Yeah. Keith, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I would probably generally agree. I mean, of course, we all know that in week 3 he pitched a no-hitter against my Cardinals. So
Yeah.
I
The only
that-
pitcher to do so.
yeah, I think that in and of itself speaks a lot. But there was also, I mean, there were 7 starts in which he allowed 4
No,
or more
Michaela,
earned
he is not.
runs.
No, Michaela Ducati was not a rookie pitcher. Sorry.
Yeah, not technically. no.
Ducati, Tommy Gunn, and who's the other one?
And Nate,
And who?
I think.
And Nate were 1.5. They were given extra off-season points to build their pitchers because they had been a position player in season 1. The only true rookie pitcher we had was Troll this season. Keith, sorry that your girlfriend interrupted you, but go ahead and finish.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would just say that I think, I mean, we see right there on the left, Greg Soto leading the league in walks, and so we've seen that he can get a little wild at times. I mean, I think there was, I can't remember, but I think there was a time this season where he walked like 4 guys in a row, and I can't think of another pitcher that did that all season besides Greg Soto. So yeah, I think that you're probably pretty close to on the money with that statement.
Yeah, so Yogi, for a lot of those, when it comes to runs and all those things we just looked at, he's in the middle of the pack. But then you start getting into things like strikeouts and wins. Obviously, he's going to move up because the A's won more games, and he's always up there in the leader for strikeouts. But other than that, do you agree with that assessment that because of his hotness and coldness, that's kind of where he settled in a lot of these?
Yeah, his hotness and coldness definitely comes into play. I think Bullet's 100% right on that. But he's always in the decision. Like when you're hot and cold like that, either you've given up the runs, they're going to take the loss from early runs, or you're going to hang in there and pitch a gem and get a win 2-0 and get a decision that way. I think the big anomaly here is with all the Trolls' good numbers, look at his wins. He was just on a shitty team. It did all their damage late in innings against bullpens.
Oh shit! Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to move this fucking graphic over. For some reason, you can't see the fucking last. There you go. Let's move that there. Last couple questions, and then we're gonna move on to the last segment here tonight. Oh, we're gonna be so under 2 hours, and I don't know where Ray is. Ray was gonna come do his last rant tonight, but I don't know where he is. So we'll see what happens. Here's the thing: most disappointing. I think we can all argue that if you want to say the top half best pitchers of the league, you got Ducati, you got Nate, you got Chrisley, you got Soto, and then you can argue if it's Troll or Gunny or whatever. I think it goes without saying that Lisa and Tommy Gunn were probably the 2 biggest disappointments this season. Do you guys agree with that, or do you have some other names you would interchange in that? Yogi, I'll start with you.
It's a question that has to be looked at fully. I mean, you got Lisa is only on the board for 7 wins, but the Orioles didn't score a lot of runs. It wasn't always her fault.
Yeah.
She'd pitch a good game and lose 2-1. So it's all encompassing how you look at the entire picture.
Keith, I think part of Tommy Gunn's issue, and I actually had a talk with him about this after the season, it's important that if you're going to build a pitcher like Ducati, Tommy Gunn, and who's the other one, Nate, that throws sidearm or submarine, that you match it up with the correct pitches. Tommy Gunn had I think it was his slurve, if I'm not mistaken, that was responsible for all the hit batters. And we don't track hit batters, right? But if we did, I'm sure Tommy Gunn would be at the top of the list along with his 13 wild pitches. When it comes to people like Tommy Gunn, Lisa, I don't know who else you would put down there right now. Could some of it just come down to build and not necessarily, or listen, let me rephrase this. Yes, it's going to be, does your team score runs or not, right? And things like that.
Right.
But regardless of what your batters do, you still have to pitch the game, whether you're up 10 or whether you're fucking down 10 or the score is tied. Pitcher build is vital. Do you think those are some issues with Lisa and Tommy when it comes down to it?
That could be the case. Yeah. I mean, looking back on season 1, Lisa was the second to last pitcher in ERA in season 1 as well. Now, of course, pitcher ERAs in season 1 were like way, way, way higher than they are in season 2. Pitchers across the league are better. I don't think anyone can really argue that. But like, for example, the worst pitcher in season 1 was Chris Lee. And where is he now?
Yeah, he's in the top 4 or 5 for sure.
Right. So to some extent, yeah, I mean, it has to be something related to, like you said, the pitching motion that you want to use and pairing it up with the right pitches. Like I think with Tommy Gunn, if I remember right, last time I looked, the pitching motion he uses is Tyler Rogers, which he pitched a couple times in the WBC, and the dude maxes out at like 83 miles an hour with his fastball.
Yeah.
It's just throwing super fast is not his style. And so, granted, I don't know if that's how like MLB The Show works or something like that. Someone with a lot more experience in the game that may have an idea could correct me on that. Like, I don't know, someone like...
Yeah, I would argue, though, that,
Delaney or something
Ducati
like that.
throws similar. So if you got Ducati and Tommy Gunn, who are both that 1.5 pitcher, right? Because they weren't rookies, they weren't second-season pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Ducati was way more successful, right? They're literally at opposite ends of the spectrum. It's got to be it's got to be something along those lines, I would think.
Yeah, I think to some extent it probably is. And of course, it's a tough thing to figure out.
Yeah.
Especially during the season when you only have so many points to work with each week.
Correct.
And just recognizing that if you want to make at least like changes that you could call drastic, you got to figure out what they are and then have a plan of implementing them, and then understand that it's probably going to take a while. And that's just how it is.
Well, you got the last word. Your thoughts on this whole discussion about pitcher builds, you know, who's good, why, who's not good, why, you know, Chris Lee not great last season, Chris Lee was great this season. Lisa struggling both seasons. Tommy Gunn, Ducati with similar builds. One's the best pitcher, one's the worst pitcher. It's all over the place, man.
Yeah, I think the issue with Tommy Gunn was definitely build related. I don't know exactly what, but if you look at the strikeouts, for example, he's 50 strikeouts. Like everyone's like close. You know, the difference between the second to last guy, James Troll, and Ducati is what, like, you know, 50 strikeouts between ninth, between like seventh and first. It's a 50 strikeout difference, but there's a 50 strikeout difference between seventh and eighth. So Tommy Gunn was like, you know, hitting bats all season, and that's 100% a problem with build. Well, I don't know if it was like his motion compared to his pitches or some other combination of things, but that's a huge red flag where he has 50 strikeouts less than the next guy and 100 less than the top guys.
Yeah,
that's a huge difference.
That is huge.
He was
especially over only a 30-game season.
Yeah, he was hitting bats all season, and as we know, if you hit bats, you're not going to be good. It's just that simple. The odds are against you overwhelmingly.
So let me ask you guys this. I think we pretty much decided that the three guys that are probably going to be in the running for the MVP are David Leathers, Bullitt, and Jack Gaines.
Yeah.
We're talking about the best pitcher, Cy Young, whatever we end up calling it here for season 2 only. Yogi, I'll start with you for only season 2. Don't count the playoffs. We're just talking about the regular season. Who's your top 2 or 3 pitchers from season 2?
You got to limit it to 3 because it's a 4-man race. It's Ducati, Soto, Lee, and Hall.
Okay,
I agree with
then
that.
if you're going to stretch it out to 4, you're going to have to rank them for me.
Ducati 1. Chris Lee 2, Nate Hall 3, and Greg Soto 4 because of his up and downness.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay, wait. So then, who do you put 5? Nate Hall or Gunny? I'm sorry.
No, Nate Hall.
Sorry, James Troll or Gunny?
I love Gunny. Got to go with
Yeah,
Gunny and then
I'm
Troll.
gonna say Gunny as well.
Keith, where you at on this?
I'm pretty much in line with the other two guys. And yeah, I would put Gunny at 5 solely because of the fact that he throws a knuckleball and everything that, and like everyone was putting points into contact and power all season. And that's exactly what you need to be able to deal with a knuckleball. And Gunny is still there in the middle of the pack in ERA, even though there were some games down the stretch where he just got killed. And it seemed like he was giving up home runs at the worst time for half our games this season. So yeah, I would give the 5 spot to Gunny just because for that reason. But yeah, the top 4 that the other two mentioned, that's pretty much where I've had my top 4 pitchers for probably the whole second half of the season, and it really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Let me press each of you. If you think it's a 4-man race, but only one person can win Pitcher of the Year, so who's the one?
Oh, Ducati. No question.
Yeah,
Ducati.
I'm gonna give it to Ducati as well, just because the combination of ERA, which is of course important, most innings pitched. I mean, it shows that A, you're not giving up a lot of runs and you can stay in the game, and B, you have the stamina to do so, which I think most pitchers in this league have. And just general dominance. I mean, he was the talking point for the Brewers for like the whole season. It was just a matter of it was a question of, oh, is this the week where a team breaks Ducati? And it didn't happen a whole lot.
So then, if we take that same thought process, and as I just scrolled all the way across all the hitting, I see Jack Gaines at the top of almost all of them. If we think it's a 3-horse race between Jack Gaines, Bullitt, and David Leathers. Now, we also got to take into consideration David Leathers is a catcher, and he threw out a decent amount of batters or runners this year.
Yes.
Do we take that into consideration? And if we take that into consideration, how do we take the fielding into consideration for Bullitt and Jack Gaines? And if that's the case, is it a more wide open race than the pitching to you guys? Or if we're only going by batting, then is it just Jack Gaines is the winner? Bullitt, I'll let Bullitt go first on this one.
Okay.
I think it's less obvious, the hitters, because like if we're talking MVP, and again, like I'm gonna sound like I'm completely biased for myself, but like Jack Gaines clearly had the best stats out of any hitter. So if we're gonna vote on best stats, then Jack Gaines wins hands down. He's like at the top of most of the leaderboard, if not in the top, or if in the top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the top 3 most of the categories too, but he's ahead of me in most. But is that are we going to give the award for best stat? This is the age-old question. Are we going to give the MVP for the guy with the best stats, or are we going to give the MVP to the MVP?
Right. No, and that's the age-old fucking question, right?
Right.
What does most valuable mean? Is it because that's different than like most outstanding player or best player, right?
Right. Like in real baseball, for example, I believe Andre Dawson was the only player ever to win MVP in a season where his team was in last place.
Was last, right?
Yeah.
I think Andre Dawson was the only guy that ever happened to, and he just had such a dominant year that one year when he was on the Cubs that it went that way. But so for me, I think that should be taken into consideration for our little league. The most valuable player on a good team should probably win it. But
what if we should make 2 awards? Maybe we should make the most valuable player to their team, and then make the most outstanding player individually. What do you guys think about that?
You could do that also. Like that like rewards more people in the league and recognizes them, and that's pretty cool in and of itself. Whoever might win those things, I think that's a decent idea. But again, this gets if not, it comes down to the age-old question: what is really an MVP? Is it the
Right.
best stats or the best guy on?
Or if you're the best person on the worst team, which Jack Gaines was this year, right, with the
Right.
Yankees, he's literally Andre Dawson.
Yeah, literally, that's true. So that's what it comes down to.
Let me ask Yogi your perspective, Yogi, since you're the only catcher here on this panel. You know, David Leathers has to split points amongst one extra attribute, which is blocking. And he has to put a little more into throwing accuracy and throwing power than a fielder would. Does that make him more valuable or more outstanding because of the offensive season he's had while having to worry and work on his catcher's attributes as well?
I think that's part of it. But to me, whenever I've been in a league or something and you've had to vote for most valuable players, my thought process is if you take that player off that team, where are they? So if you take Jack Gaines off of New York Yankees, they're still in last.
I mean,
Right. I agree with that,
If you
Yogi.
take Bullet off the Mets, they're still a second or third place team.
Maybe.
You take David Leathers off the Cubs.
They don't win the World Series? Or they don't win the Robo Classic? Sorry.
They don't.
No,
they don't make it through those playoffs without David Leathers.
But if you take Bullet off the Mets, I would argue they don't get the 1 or the 2 seed. They're probably a 3 seed, and that's harder to make it through.
2 or 3. It's harder to make it, but he makes a difference. But I don't think taking him off that team makes as much of a difference as taking Leathers.
Although you could also argue that being the Mets being the number 1 seed is harder because.
The problem is, even though he's the catcher, the problem is that in this particular league anyway, like, you know, yes, you can visibly see the catchers throwing out runners and you can see a little bit of the defense, and we're not really tracking any of that stuff. But like, can you really judge me or any player on their defense? Like, I don't know how many errors I had, but I had a couple of great plays. That we had a ton of double plays. You know what I mean? Like, it's so subjective.
It really
and
is.
we weren't really watching that. We weren't watching that. So if we're going to judge one player on their defense, you have to really dig deep into the granularity of all the players in their defense. And we weren't really looking at that this year. So I think it's very tough to like enter that into the equation in terms of making
don't you agree though that it is harder for a catcher because they kind of are basically almost mandated to have to put points into those attributes where fielders really don't have to?
100%. Like that's true. They have to allocate at least some of their resources to defense, whereas I can tell you, like, honestly, I didn't put 1 point into defense. I didn't put one single point into defense this season, not one. So be that as it may, you know, like.
So Keith, I'll give Keith the last word on this, but Keith, I want to add one more thing on top of it. So we're talking about Bullet, we're talking about Jack Gaines, we're talking about David Leathers, but we're missing one other person. Shouldn't we also consider the stolen base leader in this conversation?
Of course, but of course.
Now listen, Dave. I don't see your team. I don't see your team in the Robo Classic. I don't see your name.
Okay, but this is a regular. Oh wait. This is regular season awards. These are not playoff awards. Remember, MVP and all that stuff is regular season. And the only reason I didn't score the only reason I didn't steal a 13th bag is because 13's unlucky.
Well, that's just your problem. That's just your problem. That's just your problem then.
Where do you stand on the other 3? Legit though, the Jack Gaines, Bullet Boletsky, David Leathers argument, 2 outfielders and a catcher. You know, where do you stand on that?
Shortstop.
Shortstop.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Shortstop. My bad, Bullet.
Yeah.
I always think there's only one shortstop in the league. I keep forgetting.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I just want to start by acknowledging the difficulty of figuring something like that out in a league like the Mob because of the limitations that we have for stat tracking, because the way that we're tracking stats is it's curated to be as seamless of a process as possible and not one that's going to take up God knows how much time of people that are tracking stats, and so
Yeah, we tried to do
that was-
defensive stats last season, and Rob
That's what- that's-
Foraker,
that's-
it took him too much
That's what I
time,
was
man.
getting to. Yeah. So Rob Foraker, he shout out to Rob. God bless you for doing this. He went through every single game log last season one, and tracked the fielding percentage of every single player in the league, which you can only do that by reading every single word in the game log.
Yeah,
with the way that the game tracks the stats and the box scores right now. And I don't know about you, but I am not doing that for every single game.
Do you think we could? Do you think though, Keith, would it be too much of a hassle to track a few things like maybe errors and throwouts by the catchers and stuff?
Yeah, so errors are tracked for every single player in the league already.
Oh, do we have that? Okay, I didn't see that on.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it just not on this leader thing?
No, it's not on
Okay.
this.
Okay.
No, but like on the team pages, for example, if you scroll down to the big table where all the stats are, it's all the way on the right. So that's where you can find that.
Where am I looking?
So just click on one of the pages for like one of the teams at the bottom. Just click on any one of them.
For the playoffs or non-playoffs?
It doesn't matter. It's the same for either. And then so scroll down from there to the big white table that has everyone's cumulative stats right there, and then go all the way to the right.
Oh, there you go.
So it's the column there on the right, the E. So there's your errors.
Ooh, Zach Holder, if you had 3 fucking errors in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Just thought I'd point that out real quick.
Jesus.
So not only did you have the most strikeouts, but you might have the most errors in the playoffs. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
and
fucked.
And the annoying
a breath of fresh air, Ray. A breath of fresh air.
Oh, it's nice to hear your voice again. I was listening to Bullet Points earlier. I missed that so much
Yeah,
throughout the playoffs,
right?
man.
Keith,
Thanks, man.
Keith, finish your thought, and then we'll move on to the next segment since Ray's here
Yes.
finally.
Yeah, so part of what I was getting to is something that Doug Day just said in the chat, which is that a caught stealing should tell you catcher putouts, which yes, it does. Of course, the problem is
But we don't know who. Yeah, we don't know which
it
one.
tracks
Yeah.
caught stealings for the runner, but it doesn't list it as a putout for the catcher, and so then you'd have to go back and check, okay, who was that team playing, and then log it for that catcher. I don't know. It's a little tedious, but I mean this stat sheet is going to evolve over time. It's not
it
going to
always
stay
does.
like
It
this
always does.
forever. Yeah. I mean, I know that I already have someone who's working on figuring out advanced stats so we could add for next season.
So what was
great.
your final thought process there, Keith? Trying to wrap this back to the 3-man race here we were talking about for MVP.
Yeah, I mean, I get Yogi's point that, the whole, if you take him off this team, where is that team at? And the Yankees would still be in last. Yes, that's right. The Yankees were also the best offensive team in the league by far. It was not even close. And Jack Gaines, of those 3, contributed the most RBIs, runs created, that kind of nature to that team. And so if you ask me, and plus in week 10, I pointed this out to Dave, but I think because we got a little, I think we had some issues with like tracking, with like compiling all the week by week data the last few weeks, and so we didn't do like some awards and whatnot. I don't think this ever got publicly announced, which would have happened if we did like week 10 awards. Jack Gaines in week 10 had more RBIs than like 8 human players had all season.
That's just absolutely
like that. The week 10 by Jack Gaines was the best offensive week in Mob history, and I don't think it's that close either.
That's pretty.
So
crazy.
I don't know.
That's
I'm kind of leaning Jack Gaines towards MVP at this point.
It sounds like it.
But I'm also very much an offensive mind, and that goes towards all sports.
Well,
so
if we decide,
I'm biased in that direction.
If we decide to make it 2 different awards, an MVP saying who's most valuable to their team, and then the most outstanding player or the best player, then people can kind of divide that up in their head, and then that way they don't have to choose. So,
So we got the MVP and the mop.
The mop.
Yeah.
Yes, the mop.
Right, the mop.
Are you the
mop.
mop in the mob? Are you the mop?
No, I'll take being a mob. Fuck
there
it.
you go. No, mob, not mom.
No, I said mob.
Gee.
Oh, did you say mob? Okay.
I did say
Yeah.
mob.
All right, last segment. Let's talk about the Robo Classic. Bullet, I'll start with you. I think that I can say this pretty confidently. I'm not the only one surprised that Chicago won this in less than 7 games. Especially when they were down 2-0 and then to win 4 straight is pretty crazy to me. What's your overall take on this Cubs Brewers Robo Classic? Were you as surprised as I was that the Cubs, not necessarily that they won, but that they won, without it going the distance? And what are your thoughts on the way the Brewers kind of changed up the way they play ball and was unsuccessful in the most important series of the season?
Yes, that is true. I was mildly surprised that the Brewers didn't win. Again, I thought they were the best team going into the playoffs. They had the most unique brand of or style of playing out of any of the teams that worked for them the entire year. They kind of went into the playoffs limping a little, which is a problem. And the Cubs got hot at the right time. And like I said before, in baseball, the hottest team usually wins it all. And the Cubs were definitely the hottest team. They played the best throughout the playoffs, and that's why they won. They were the hottest, and the Brewers, like you said, they were not playing their brand of baseball in the playoffs, and they kind of like just like limped to the finish line and kind of limped into the playoffs. And they won a hard-fought series against us, and it just took a lot out of them.
After a hard-fought series that went the distance against the A's just before you.
Yeah. So they had a really battle to get there, which I didn't think was going to be the case for presumably the best team in the league, but they like fought tooth and nail to get there. They just ran out of gas. They ran out of gas. They ran into a buzzsaw. The Cubs definitely got hot at the right time. That's why they won it all.
Yeah, Keith, your thoughts, especially coming from a team who, like us, lost to the Cubs in the playoffs. Did you see the Cubs going into Milwaukee, without the home field advantage, losing the first 2 games in Milwaukee, coming back and winning 4 straight? I got to be honest with you. I was shocked, and it's a little different than the way the Yankees did, because I think we only did 3 games last, or did we do 5? Maybe we did 5 last season.
We did 5.
I'm still kind of a little bit in shock, to be honest with you. The team, and we talked about this, we've beat this like a dead horse already. The last seed in the playoffs, and they win it again. But they get through a hot Orioles team at the time, the number 1 team in all the land in the Cardinals, and arguably the best team in all of baseball for season 2 with the Brewers. I mean, did you see that coming when they beat you guys?
It was just amazing how much better the Cubs bats were in the playoffs compared to the second half of the season, because that was their main struggle point. Nate Hall was still pitching very well. It was just a matter of getting runs across the plate. And I guess at some point, if you're in a lull, it's gotta recorrect itself at some point. And it did in a big way for the Cubs. And yeah, I'm kind of with Bullet in that, the hottest team probably has a chance to win. And of course, the Cubs, relative to their strength level, they went into the playoffs and kicked the shit out of the O's. They won, I believe, what was that series? 3-1 or
3-1. It was
3.
3. We won.
4-1?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, we won game 1 and they won 3 in a row, maybe.
Yeah, y'all won game 1 off of, I believe it was off a walk. It was
extra
off
innings, walk off or something.
It was off a walk off at home, because I was calling that game, and the rest of the games were like 3 or 4 run wins.
Yeah,
And
sorry,
then
we won 3-2 on a walk off.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with the Cardinals. So relative to their strengths level, the Cubs were just hitting way above their weight class, you could say. Yeah. And the Brewers, I mean, I don't want to say they limped in, because they did have to play 2 really good teams, but I mean, that's kind of what was happening. And then, but I did not expect the pitchers to struggle as much as they did in the Robo Classic. That absolutely amazed me.
Yeah, and that goes for both sides. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like it was like maybe the worst weeks of the season for both of those pitchers.
Yeah, I think Nate had one good game, and that was it between the two of them.
And that was probably it, right?
Yogi, I saved you for last on purpose. I know that this is the most painful for you of all. A Cubs team, like I said, they got swept, in week 9. I don't remember whatever Keith said happened in week 10. They come in, they whoop up on the O's, who had just swept them a couple weeks before. And it's just almost like something happened. Some kind of switch got flipped or something with the Cubs to go through this. But if you go back, you guys had to play the A's 5 games, went the distance. You had to fucking play the Mets, and it went the distance. Were the Brewers just out of gas by the time they got to play the Cubs? Or was it a combination of the two, the Cubs being hot at the same time, that you guys, had to go through the tougher gauntlet to get there? Obviously, you had the tougher competition. What's the overall take here between the Brewers and the Cubs here for the Robo Classic?
That's all nice and dandy, but it comes down to the old AACL adage. What one team does in the regular season, the other team can do in the playoffs.
Kill me now.
How long you been holding on to that one, Yogi?
I've been holding on to that since we started this conversation.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, it was tough. Like I said earlier, when you're doing the sim sports and you're progressing, you get yourself in dead zones. And I think the Cardinals were in a dead zone, and they progressed their way through it and got to that next level, and it showed in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, Crazy Canuck. That's right. Yeah, I think we started that in SSF. You're right.
Yeah.
But when you talk about sim sports, Yogi, and we've discussed this briefly before, in a lot of other sports, when you're talking about maybe soccer or football or whatever, you're playing one team, one game in 1 week. In our series, in our regular season, you're playing a team 3 times. In the playoffs, you're playing them 5 times. In the Robo Classic, you're playing them up to 7 fucking times. What are the odds of that happening to you 5 or 6 times, though?
And then you got the same pitcher every game. That's a huge difference. But we played the whole season that way too.
And what do you make of the style change of your team not going away from playing Billy ball and trying to play like Yankee ball against the Cubs?
It didn't work. So I'll never know what would have happened if we'd have just stuck with all defense and speed. Don't know.
It worked for the first 2 games.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
you had to feel pretty confident up 2-0 going to Chicago, and even when they tied it in Chicago, you're like, okay, we won our 2 at home. They won their 2 home. We still have home field advantage, right?
Right.
It's
was
completely
it was
wild.
frustrating how it happened, the way it played out.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one who sits here shocked that the Cubs won. And again, this is not a rip on the Cubs. This is not a rip on Rob and his team. It's just the fact of that, you guys barely made the playoffs, and then you just all of a sudden decided we're going to play baseball and just crushed everybody all the way through. It's just so random, man.
Did anybody think the Florida Marlins would beat the Yankees in the World Series? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I did, because fuck the Yankees.
Hey, everybody think, yeah.
Okay, right. Anybody but Ray think that.
There's a difference between thinking it and wishing it.
No, it wasn't a wish. I knew it.
Yeah, sure you did. Speaking of
I don't even think I was alive when that happened.
Speaking of Ray,
Probably not.
There's a good segue to the final Season 2 edition of the Diamond Massacre. Now, Ray, we had a little back and forth. Which way did you decide to go on this final one? You can talk about the Robo Classic, and you talk about the season as a whole. You're just going to pick on certain teams. You're just going to make fun of the Giants. What do you decide to do?
I had a little struggle trying to figure this one out, because usually I have the matchups in front of me. I have the statistics, and I'm just sitting here. I'm nitpicking what I want to say or not say, and I got to be careful what I say, because Keith will go back in statistics and be like, well, technically, shut the fuck up, Keith. Nobody gives a shit.
What can I say? Numbers don't lie.
Hey.
I was literally sitting at dinner with Clams earlier, which is why I was late.
It's Clams. Wait, Clams was here, though.
Yeah, she was at the table watching and chatting, but I was eating.
Gotcha.
I even sitting at the table, like I finished eating, I started typing on my phone. I was trying to figure out something to put for the rant. I just couldn't. Nothing was coming to mind. So, but finally, I figured out something while y'all were chatting about stats or whatever. I wasn't listening at all. So, I figured out something, and I'm going to share it to y'all, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final season 2, or the final edition of the Diamond Massacre for season 2, also known as Ray's Rant because Dave likes Ray's Rant for some reason. I think he likes the double R.
I like it. I just think it flows well. I like it. I will always call it that.
You know, we're going to change it next season. It's going to be called the double R.
And I'm going to say AKA the Diamond Massacre.
AKA the Diamond Massacre. Yeah, exactly. We're just going to keep changing the fucking name every season.
You know, it would not be that. I wouldn't put it past this crew, to be honest with you.
Honestly, yeah. So, I'll get started here. And now that I don't think I am on a time limit.
Would you like me to give you an intro, or do you want to just roll with it?
No, I'll just roll with it. Fuck it. It's the end of season 2. We ain't got to be all technical about this shit.
Thing, bro.
Mob Season 2 is officially past us. There was good times, or whatever Dave wants to call his 2 home run week. There was
Great
bad times, like letting the San Francisco speed bumps into this damn thing, only for them to fold in less than a year. We got rid of one dumbass squad. Please tell me the Yankees are next. I was told by Dave I needed to do one final rant to close this season of Mob, and for the longest time, I didn't know what the hell I was going to talk about. Do I talk about each individual team? Nah, they don't deserve their own section of this rant. Maybe I talk about the moments that happened during the season. Bitch, I can't remember all of that. So what do I fucking do? This entire season I shat on everyone. Wait, why change what's been working? I can shit on everyone. Well, only a select few. I have hand-selected a few people from the mob to be what I like to dub the last rants of season 2. And there is absolutely no better way to start this than Mr. fucking Kyle, no, Kurt, Chris, Candy, Scandal, no, Keith, that's his name. I remembered his name, folks. Holy shit, it's only been like 2 years. This man is like a brother to me, and I would defend him any time of any day. But come the fuck on, man. The AACL was dying. You couldn't let the fucking KMPR die with it? Nah. Just brought it right over to the mob so you can piss off everyone betting the under while you yap about meaningless statistics and the quote-unquote formula for the KMPR. We all know the formula. You put the names in a hat, swirl it around, then pull them out until you realize, oh shit, I forgot to write the team's names down first. So then you go to AI and have them make a list. The KMPR is just like the Cardinals winning the OG division. It absolutely means nothing. On a serious note, thank you for doing the hard work and collecting these stats from every single game. It takes a lot of hard work, and you know all about hard work. You looked at Michaela and said, yep, that's the one I want to be with. To end your section of this rant, I greatly appreciate having both of y'all in my life. Meeting the both of you in person for the Nebraska game was fucking awesome, and I will forever hold the memories of us chilling by the fireplace at the hotel and just talking away. But seriously, quit fucking talking. We all want the free channel points that don't do jack shit for our character in this league. Mr. Greg Soto, aka Mr. Just for Men. The man of too many fucking voices. I can't lie. Anytime I saw Greg was broadcasting a game, I had to listen to it with the volume really low because it got annoying so damn quick. I don't care for Ling Ling, Keith's grandma, or Dave's future voice once he gets tired of dealing with us. Just go back to your voice, man. It was at least more tolerable listening to that every week. I don't think there's much else I can say, mainly because if I said much more, it might start a fight between us again like it was the beginning of the college football playoffs. But one last time, just for you, Greg, ladies and gentlemen, if you put the U with your hands up in the air and you split it in half, hello, is this thing on? Fuck it, moving on. Clamsy Whamsy. Still one hell of an ass. Get back over here so I can smack it. Dave Access, aka the Godfather. We still don't care about your 2 home run performance or the Dodgers. Fuck the Dodgers. If that team were to ever join this league, I'd retire immediately and just be one of the two old people Muppets and constantly shit on that team during broadcasts. I gotta be careful what I say from here on out. I can hear the concrete mixer running and Dave is hovering over the mute Discord button.
Yes, I am.
To everyone in chat, go fuck yourselves. Every time it's Clams and I are on a call for a game, I have to read your bullshit comments about just letting Clams call the damn game. And honestly, it did kind of hurt me to the point where I just didn't want anything to do with this shit anymore. But thinking about it, what kind of asshole would I be to let you have your fucking way? This ain't Burger King. So for next season, just shut your mouths and enjoy my greatness while I absolutely shit talk your team over and over again like every game is going to be hate watch stream from now on. Finally, I want to say something about this angry little prick who every damn week decides to come into the stream and spew more bullshit than someone who just went to Taco Bell. Yeah, that's right, folks. An extra special fuck you goes out to Ray Bashan. Who the fuck do you think you are talking about everyone the way you do? You think you are so high and mighty above everyone else when making these. All you do is just get cheap laughs from everyone to make yourself feel better. You, just like your character in the mob, is fucking worthless. You joked about Travis and Luda striking out, but you could barely get on base at all this season. Before you make the excuse of, oh, Dave decided to fuck with the progressions and that fucked me up, remember this. I hope wherever you go next season, whether that's staying put in Milwaukee or deciding to take the little talent you have somewhere else for the third straight year, you will never be on that top level like you want. You'll just be stuck here surrounded by the other fucking fools who decided joining a baseball sim league was the greatest decision to waste their time in. And if any of them believe I was serious about any of these comments said here for the final rant, go join Aiden in the fucking river with the cement shoes. It's a rant, not a dick. Don't take it so hard.
Oh. Damn, bro.
Bravissimo.
I mean,
Damn.
yeah. Good night now.
Yeah. Under.
Oh shit. And those 2 home runs were great, by the way. Fuck you. Oh shit. Best one of the season, best for last. Nice race, says Soto. Lots of dams and Jesuses, and that's Emmy Award winning shit right there. And everybody says, yay, go Dodgers. And somebody says something about strippers, but with a Y. I don't know what the fuck that means. Probably won't have too fancy dinner, blah, 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 blah. Well, Ray, appreciate you doing this all season. And yes, you're obligated to do it again next season.
Let me add one more thing, because I feel like throughout the entire season, I kind of, softballed the Brewers a lot, besides the curses.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the finals.
Oh, okay.
How come I can finally hit the fucking ball and get on base, and everybody else around me besides Yogi just decided to become jack shit?
Bro, there are so many unanswered questions. How did the Cubs catch on fire so much? How did the Orioles, who had just swept the Cubs in week 9, play like shit against the Cubs 2 weeks later?
It's like,
how did the number 1 Cardinals?
It's like somehow I took Gorman Thomas's power and like sucked it into myself, and I was just like, yeah, you want a home run? I can hit that bitch. Look at that go.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing I do want to say about this. In all seriousness, what we saw this season with the ups and downs, and what we saw with the changes in beginning of season versus end of season and postseason, that's fucking baseball, man. That is baseball. Here's a great example. How about fucking Team USA last night? We have probably the best lineup in the history of fucking baseball history, and we fucking hit like 250 for the fucking whole classic. And I think all of our key guys went 0 for 3 and 0 for 4 last night, and most of them struck out every fucking time.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge fucked up. And it wasn't just, I know he's taken the blunt of it, but 3 other of our power hitters went 0 for 3, 0 for 4 last night.
Well, he's taking the blunt of it because he acts like that in the playoffs too.
There's that. But
yeah.
But my point.
Well, I mean, what was forgotten is that Bryce Harper's home run last night.
Yeah.
That might have been his only hit of the World Baseball Classic.
Fuck Bryce Harper.
I mean, oh, dude, yeah, but you know what though? He was great. He was the only one who stayed out and congratulated Venezuela afterwards.
Congratulated him.
Yeah. So he showed a little class there. But my point is this.
Yes, he did.
My point is that I feel like I understand that it's probably frustrating if you're a pitcher, or if it's frustrating that you're a hitter in this league, and one game you go for 4 for 4, and then the next game you go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That's fucking baseball. You know what? The one of the greatest lines I've heard. I can't remember what movie it was. I want to say probably whatever, one of the baseball movies, probably Bull Durham or something like that. That baseball is the only fucking sport where you can fail 75% of the time and be a Hall of Famer. It's the only one. And that's what happens. Anybody who thinks that their player in this league should be hitting 500 for the whole season with 50 home runs and steal all the big, it's not fucking realistic, man.
Not going to happen.
It's not realistic.
League's over.
Yeah. And we don't want everybody to do that anyway. We want people to specialize in defense. We want people to specialize in stealing bases. We want people to specialize in singles and doubles. And then we also want people to specialize in fucking crushing the ball and hitting home runs. We want people to fucking specialize in a defensive catcher, in a knuckleball pitcher versus a fastball pitcher. Like, that's what's great about the mob right now, is how diverse we've all built our players and our pitchers. And I'm sorry that somebody gets upset or gets frustrated with their guy because they go, 0 for 12 before they go 5 for, 10 the next few games. But that's baseball, man. That is fucking baseball. And it's why I love the game, and why I love the fact that you can't be perfect in this sport. It's not possible. And I fucking love it. So I guess my answer to you, Ray, is it's baseball, man.
Also, one of you fucks really need to join the 0-8 club next season.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Doug Day, we're all 5.
In the words of Yogi, little bitches.
Little bitches. Yeah. Hey, Doug Day, that's your own fault. You could have spent money to make your player bigger. That's your own fault. But anyway, so that's there's Dave's rant. That baseball is it's why it's the fucking greatest sport in the history of the world. So I know everybody's college football hype, blah blah blah, and basketball this and hockey blah. Fuck all that. Baseball is baseball is a chess game that has more things going on in it at any given time than any other sport.
It's the simplest yet most complex game there is.
It's fucking great, man.
Hey Keith, I'll take the blame for this one going over.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I saw at 9:51 you were wrapping up like, we're definitely gonna go under, and then you had to ask me the baseball question, and I had to get on my soapbox for a few minutes.
Story time of day.
I mean, it was but I am passionate. I've always been passionate about baseball, and I think that I love the fact that nobody is great. I love the fact that Soto, if you're listening, what's your player now in overall? 92, 94, somewhere? Like, fucking ridiculous overall, and he still has his bad outings. That's fucking baseball, man. I love it. The best pitcher in the game still fucking sucks sometimes, and that's baseball, and that's what I love. So, since we're on the over, and I don't have to rush and hurry up and get off now, I'm going to go around. I'm going to start with Ray, and then I'm going to go to Keith, then I'm going to go to Bullet, and I'm going to close out with Yogi. And I just want everybody's final thoughts on Season 2 here in the mob, as we wrap it up and get ready to do all the off-season shit. Ray, you're up first.
Yeah, we really went an entire season just to be told that Nate Hall was the best pitcher and a champion pitcher, and that kind of pisses me off. So
well, nobody said he was the best pitcher.
the first 2 seasons, we just need to burn the files. We need to black them out. We're treating these seasons like it's the Epstein files at this point.
Oh God. On that note, Keith, you've got the mic.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, this was a great season. It was long, but that's what we all expected. It had its ups and downs like any sport does. Sorry.
Are you getting emotional about it, Keith?
I mean, listen, I blame fucking spring allergies for that one. The main takeaway that I have for this season, though, and this is completely relevant to next season, I'm sure. Are we going to see teams tanking at the end of the regular season to try and be the worst team going into the playoffs?
Oh God.
That's going to be everybody's goal next season?
Yeah. We're fighting for last. That's going to be the motto. No, but this was a great season, and I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, and you know what? Apologies to you guys, kind of, not really, but sort of. that it was such a long season. It was only a long season because we had so many big breaks. With I had to take the whole month of January off. We took the holidays off. As Twin Screw will point out, I took 17 vacations and whatever. But Wink and I have been talking about a schedule that we are going to try to keep to make sure we get 2 seasons in a year, but still have all the holidays off. So just know that we're working on that, and we're working on keeping a tighter schedule next season, and that will include an additional few streamers, so I don't have to be the only one we rely on for streaming. So if I'm not available, somebody else can stream and we don't miss games. So that's going to be huge for next season. Are the clubs going to have a championship curse from winter to last next season? Oh, that's a good point too, Thump. Keith, you're talking about the worst playoff teams winning it. What about the Yankees going from first to worst? Does that mean the Cubs are going to be worse next season? Good question.
We'll have to see. Cubs played so many close games this season.
I'm going to vote yes. I'm going to vote yes just to piss them off.
I can answer that with the soundboard.
Yes.
There was Keith's chance to say fuck the Cubs.
Well, yeah, right.
I don't need to say fuck the Cubs. Everyone just already knows.
They already fucking know. Bullet, your final thoughts on season 2?
I think it was a great season. I think that the sign of a good sim league, and look, let's face it, we've all been in sim leagues for many years, and before sim leagues like this even existed, I was simming in my fucking room as like a teenager, like on my fucking Commodore 64 all the way through, Microsoft Baseball and all these fucking stupid things. And the most important thing is to be invested in the league that you're in and enjoy the people that you're with. And that checks all the boxes for me here. This league is fucking awesome. I love the people who are in it. I love chatting with everybody. I love being invested in my team, being invested in the games. And so much so where I was invested in the finals. My team wasn't even playing, but I actually cared. You know what I mean? I cared to the point where it was exciting. I was watching it and it was fucking exciting. And it it was like really cool to watch that. Like that's like in my spare time, like I get to do something that I really enjoy with the people I enjoy. It's fucking awesome, man. And that's what this league gives to me. And that's why I think it's fucking awesome.
That's awesome to hear, boy. You know what? I love that you're invested, and I love that you're invested when your team wasn't playing. Because in a lot of sim leagues, that's when numbers start to die down. Is when your team
100%.
When your team doesn't make the playoffs, or they're out of the playoffs, or whatever, right? Which sucks, but I like the fact that I feel you. I feel like more people were invested. Like our numbers were down a little bit when we first started back up after the break in January, but as we got to the end of the season, the playoffs, man, they just skyrocketed back up, which was great. Yogi, you got the last word here. Season 2 in the mob.
That long way from simulating by yourself on a Commodore 64, but we've all been there. If you're old enough. Not everybody knows what a Commodore 64 is.
I know.
That was for the old folks in the league, which is
I know what that is. I know what that is. Come on now.
So, season 1, we had 18 games, which was not enough to give you cold streaks.
Yeah. Good point.
We did 30 this year. If it were possible for us to do 50, 60, 80, it would be great, but it's not. 30 is going to be about our number we go with, and it's good enough to give you a full view of the scope of a season for the teams. I enjoyed what we did this year, what we put out. We had a lot of participation from a lot of people all season. It was a great season all the way around.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that I think you're right. And here's something else I want to say too. Next season we talked about how we're going to have 10 teams, and because we're only going to have one division, the way it's going to work is you will play your rival 3 home and 3 away, and everybody else you will play a home away neutral series. That still equals 30 games. So next season we will play 30 games again. Here's where things are going to change. When we get to season 4, and if we get to that point where we're going to add teams 11 and 12, excuse me. That's going to make it a 42 season game. And I just thought that was so great because that's Jackie Robinson's number 2.
Yes.
And so I just thought 42 games is like the perfect, and we're never going to go more than 12 teams. So once we get to 12, we're going to be maxed out in the league. And the fact that we'll have 42 games, I think is just fucking perfect. So I love that. So there's a little inside information for the next couple seasons. And also, something else, when I was doing my little rant there a minute ago, something else I wanted to touch on. The fact that we don't have every team full of humans that are progressing and all becoming, high 80s into their 90s player, because that's not realistic and that's not real baseball either. So I like the fact that we will always keep at least a few AI players that will not be progressing or will be progressing much slower than humans on the team. So not every single batter is a fucking superstar, because that's not realistic for baseball either. Each team's got a handful of fucking stars, and that's it, and that's the way it should stay. So, Deli
Except for the
says,
Dodgers.
well, that's different. We're special. 12 teams. I don't have enough fingers to count that high, says Deli. Yeah, I don't ever see us going past 12 because of how many games have to be streamed for how many nights of the weekend. I'm not willing to give up my Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. So, Monday through Thursday is all we got, and the way we did the math is that we can't have more than 12 teams ever in the league. So that's going to be that. And who knows who the last two teams will be. There's a couple of people who are interested, but we'll see what happens for season 4. I don't know. But season 3, as you can kind of see on your screen right here, A's, Brewers, Cards, Cubs, Guardians, Mets, Orioles, Pirates, Red Sox, and the Yankees. That's it. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. Yogi, Keith, Ray, Bullet. I appreciate you guys being on the shows all season, doing, everybody doing their thing, broadcasts and stats and rants and bullet points and the whole 9 yards. Appreciate all of you. Also, let's see who's still in the chat. Thump is here. Deli's here. Nate Hall, Crazy Canuck. Dougie Day says MLB 26, make it happen. We're going to talk about it, but I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff on the new game that I would really love to institute in this league. But we'll talk about that on the 22nd, the owners meeting, to see if it's too soon for season 3, if we have to wait for season 4. There's a lot of moving parts that would have to happen to make that happen. Diggs is still with us. Rob Forker in the house. Let me go to this other list. Yogi Soto, Corey Menner, Pain in My Ass, Nate Hall, Diggs, Mike Hall, James Troll, Korn, Rob Forker, Gunny, Greg Luda, Freddie still hanging with us, Doug Day, Doug Britton, Deli, Bullet, Clams, Michaela, me, Ray, Crazy, Annie, and if I missed you, my apologies, but that's a lot of people. And James Troll. There you go. All right, well, for one last time here in Season 2, now this doesn't mean we're not going to have shows during the offseason, because we will. The plan for the offseason is to have some award shows and to have the Home Run Derby again, and to have a potential it's going to be an all-star game. We might have an all-star series. I might do a 2 out of 3 on the all-star thing. We'll see. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 2 teams, because we can't be on the actual all-star teams in the game. It's going to be the Nationals. There will be one of the all-star teams, and I think the Angels will probably be the other one. So those will be the 2 teams. We may play 3 or a series, or we might just play a home and home. But we'll see. We'll make it fun. So lots of stuff going on in April. And then hopefully with no major issues, we'll be starting season 3 in May. So there you go. I'll put out some pings tomorrow regarding free agency. And we'll start getting shit ready. I'll start getting your points in there for the off season and making announcements, and we'll go from there. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody. Nate Diggs says they will draft their team. Oh, will they draft their team for an all-star? I will put those details out when we get to that point. I know what I'm going to do, but I don't want to say it on air. I want to put it in a ping and make all of you fucking read my shit. So there you go.
God, that back wall is going to get crowded next season.
What is? Oh, well, no, I think I'm going to have to do a different graphic, because we'd have, I could move the Cardinals over, put one there, put one between the A's and the Cubs, maybe one between the O's and the Mets and the Yankees, but I don't think I could put 12 there.
You also got to get rid of the Giants.
Are they on here? Oh, yeah. I looked right past them.
Listen, we all did too.
I think I could do 10 on there. I don't think I could put 12, but I think we need a new graphic anyway. I think season 3, we're going to change some things. The show's going to be different. The broadcasts are going to be different. Wink and I are doing a lot of talking, so be prepared for a lot of changes in season 3. So that's all I got. We're over 13 minutes. Gotta love it. Thanks for being here. Appreciate all the panelists all season long. Appreciate all the viewers all season long. Watch for my pings, and then I'll be on air again in about a week or so, but I'll let you know. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend. See you when I see you. Good night now.